Good evening, everybody. Eldon and I have a couple of quick announcements before Scott dives in tonight on the topic of personal growth and development. Two things. Number one, the master's meeting we had with Roger last week turns out that a lot of the tariffs has impacted some of the raw materials that Shaklee uses, as one would imagine. And they're trying to figure out what's the best way to handle that. I think the best way, and the agreement among the masters, was just to have a slight price increase. Roger thought that's probably where they were going to go, probably October, somewhere around 1.5% across the board. And it's one of those things that we'll be aware of. There's no need to make a big deal about it with your customers. I mean, King Soopers doesn't tell you when you walk in the door which things have gone up in price. You go in and do your shopping. So, that's one of the things that's going to change. But considering we've only had 4 price increases in 20 years, that's nothing short of extraordinary when you think about it. So anyway,
It basically, they're not going to announce it except to the directors and above. So the idea is that customers are customers and they're just going to go like they go to King Soopers or any store, and nobody announces the changes so that you don't have any trauma happening.
right. Okay, number two, one of our really good customers from across the street came waltzing over Saturday morning when I was in the garden with a can of sparkling protein from Costco. And
From
was
Costco.
Really?
rather surprised. And I took some photos of it and I sent it to Dr. Erin Barrett. She gave us a response as a comparison to why Shaklee is obviously superior, which I will forward to you guys. But just be aware that there's some other stuff out there, obviously not nearly as good or as comprehensive or as well researched as ours. But the reality is that we're going to have some competition in that arena.
Well, it's not the neonatal way.
That is correct. But anyway, I will send her response to you guys so you have that in your back pocket, because obviously you're going to run into that. So Scott, it's all yours.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Hopefully you can strap in for this little session. I'm going to rock through it as quickly as I can. Hopefully you're looking at a fire burning right there.
Yep.
Okay, good. Okie doke. So I had an interesting conversation at Bo and Jenny's anniversary party with Chris, who's lost her husband, Norm, 3 or 4 years ago now. But we talked about the ebbs and flows of your life in the network marketing industry or multi-level marketing industry or community marketing or affiliate marketing. They're all synonyms for the exact same thing. We go through these ebbs and flows in our life, and that will happen to everyone, everywhere, at any time. And we talked about getting your fire back for your Shaklee business. So this is kind of the mindset topic that I've been really thinking hard about over the last week and putting together piece by piece. And I literally just finished the last slide not 3 minutes ago, just to put it all together into one little package here. Here we go. So finding your fire. We belong to an industry that has some, let's say, negative perceptions attached to it, the network marketing industry. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, how we have to deal with that in the world and the space that we are in, partnered with Shaklee Corporation. So I'm going to tie that in with my personal story of how I've come a long way since the beginning of when I was introduced to both Shaklee and the network marketing industry. When I first was introduced, I was 18 years old, and I will say the name because I think it needs to be said and it needs to be forthright. I was recruited into Amway when I was 18 years old by a doctor and his wife, wonderful people, still stay in touch with him. And I spent 2 years understanding a lot about there's another way to make a living in this world when you don't have much to start with. So I want to be clear that in some of Rick's former presentations that we've seen, he shows that, in fact, Rick, you could probably confirm these numbers about how the population in the United States breaks up into financial independence. Do you know those numbers off the top of your head? You may be muted.
He is muted.
As I
Well,
recall, I think
there we go.
one will be financially independent, 5 will be okay in retirement.
Percentage.
65% will be dead at what we call retirement age because they never took their supplements, and the rest will be living on the dole.
All right. So we are born into this. If you are in the top 2% of this country, congratulations. Way to go. You don't have to worry about a thing. You are virtually handed away to move, and you have an understanding of the world that is completely different to someone like me. I grew up with an entrepreneur father who worked his tail off, and we made ends meet, and we were very middle class. There was always the issue of shortage, right? I mean, there was never enough of everything all the time. And that was just one of those things that gets ingrained into your head. When you're not part of the top 2%, you have to find another way. So when I was introduced to network marketing at 18, I realized that there is something here. Now, I spent a lot of time doing absolutely nothing except going to seminars and buying their tapes and CDs and programs and listening to all that stuff. Spent a lot of money, didn't make a dime in that company. When I was introduced to another network marketing opportunity, it was in the long distance calling. You guys remember when we had to pay for long distance calls?
Yeah.
Cell telecom, right? That company folded, and I was really fired up about it. Started doing a little bit better, but after that, I was like, I'm kind of done with this whole MLM thing. Well, along comes Rick and Aldana Seymour. I'm strolling as a magician through a party, and I find Rick and Aldana. And at that time, I was doing really two things. I was a trim carpenter. There's a picture of my decommissioned Frito-Lay truck, all aluminum body, no rust. Pretty nice. And I had a whole shop in the back there. So when I was introduced to Shaklee, I was cutting wood in the day, and I was doing magic shows and stuff whenever I could, whenever gigs would pop up throughout the week. So that was the back of my shop there. In the back of the truck, I had a desk and a microwave and everything there. All my tools hung up on racks, and I could show up and do my trim work and whatnot. But that's where I learned that the common man or woman has the opportunity to level the playing field with something that Jim Rohn has called the magic of part-time. The magic of part-time. We're gonna hit that pretty hard today. So working part-time on my lunch hours, I started my Shaklee business in the back of this truck, making phone calls at this desk. And right there, you can see my little card caddy thing that I had, note cards for follow-up. That's where I started. Kids were very young at that age, and I began to learn that being in the linear income model was not the way to build wealth. When I say the linear income model, that is, if you have a job, that is okay. If you have a business that you run as a self-employed person, that is okay. You are trading your time for money. In other words, you work, you get paid, you're done. You have to start over. You can never go backwards and get paid again on that work that you've cashed in. It's gone forever. So once you run out of time, you can run out of money if you stay in the linear income model. So that's what I learned early on at about 18 that there is another way. I'll call it legacy income. So the point is for tonight is that we need to wrap our head around this incredible opportunity that we have in the network marketing industry with a company like Shaklee. We get to start a little store, right? Our own storefront. Shaklee's our partner. They provide the products. We stock the shelves. We find the customers. We open the doors. We do the promotions. We do the presentations. It is our little store when we start. And what's beautiful about this model is when you find a customer today who loves Shaklee products, and if the average customer stays with Shaklee products for over 17 years, some for 50 or 60 years, if you find a customer like that, you don't have to go and resell them again on the idea that Shaklee products are quality. And then you start adding to that customer base. And when your customer base adds every month, you don't have to go back in time and try and cash in again. They're already reordering, and you can add to that. But you can also use multiplication with this, right? So, and this is where it blows my mind how the naysayers of network marketing, who, by the way, have never had a business, and they only know somebody who maybe knew somebody who once knew somebody who had a bad experience with network marketing, will bash this industry, thinking that it is absolutely insane that you can get paid on other people's work. Take an insurance company, for example. All insurance agencies can have salespeople that they will earn a commission on their sales. We are no different, with the exception of when we open our Shaklee storefront and we get so big that we need to find an expansion, we find another person to open a franchise and open their Shaklee store. And then they can get their customers. And we help train them and teach them how we started our store, how we run our store. And when they're off and running, that store doesn't pay us a bonus. That comes from the product supplier. That comes from Shaklee, pays us a reward for helping another store or franchise open up. And guess what? There are no brick and mortar costs to doing this, right? So how is this wrong? How is this any different from opening up a franchise around town, building a building, finding your customers, doing your marketing, having somebody send the products to you and you have to stock them? We are no different. We are no different. The only thing that is different is we don't have a brick and mortar store and all the overhead. So this is how the common man can get ahead without the huge investment in this industry. And then it continues, right? Another store gets so successful, they have to open up another franchise, and on it goes. I'm going to take a little drink here. So the magic of part-time is very much understood in the general populace. If you go, and I went to Wikipedia and I looked up multi-level marketing just to see what it is about, I was absolutely astonished how bad this explanation of network marketing is. Excuse me. They bash the network marketing companies out there. And in some ways, for good reason. There have been some poor players out there in network marketing. For those of you who've been in the industry for a while, you've seen the latest, greatest magical potion come on. Everybody's going crazy about it. They're selling it like crazy. Then they find out that it's nothing special. It doesn't have any benefit. And the whole product just supported a compensation plan. That's what gave network marketing such a bad name over the years. So, welcome to Shaklee. We are the best network marketing company of them all. And I cannot say that they're all bad companies, but I will say we have earned the right to be the leading force in network marketing company and be the example to which all other companies should be measured. That's in our products, and that is in our business plan. So keep this in mind. This is what we have with the Shaklee business. You have all the things that come with it that other network marketing companies would die for. Now, I want to make sure that I have the audio on this appropriately. Give me 1 second. Let me hop out of this for just a moment. Okay. One of my favorite personal development speakers, Jim Rohn, was really introduced to me through Rick and Aldana Seymour. And he has a famous publication out, audio, called Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. I'm just taking a small sliver of what he describes as the magic of part-time. So it's about a 4-minute listen. Kick back and just hear what this man has to say about this.
Now, here was my first goal when I started, and that was part-time. I wanted to equal on my profits part-time what I was earning on my full-time job. This is called the magic of part-time. It is so thrilling for people to start working the business part-time. Because now you can work on profits, and it doesn't take very long. If you'll really concentrate on those 10, 12, 15 hours a week, it won't be long if you really do it right and learn some of the skills I'm going to talk about. It won't be long until you can be earning as much part-time working on your fortune as you are full-time working on your job. I did that in less than 6 months. Now I've got an incredible invitation. I found a way part-time to work on my fortune, and I'm making as much money at that as I am on my full-time job. Would you like to hear my story? It was incredible. Now here was my second goal, to make twice as much money part-time working on my fortune as I was working full-time on my job. And I reached that in less than a year. Making twice as much money part-time working on my fortune as I was full-time working on my job. Now I've got an incredible invitation that won't quit. I found a way, through a unique opportunity, to work part-time on my fortune, and I'm now earning twice as much money as I am working full-time on my job. Would you like to hear my story? Do you imagine anybody would say, no, I don't care to hear your story? No. Everybody I said that to said, wow, yes, what are you doing? I said, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. Now, when I started making twice as much money part-time as full-time, here's my dilemma. I didn't want to go full-time. And why not go full-time? And the reason was because I didn't want to give up my electrifying story. Right? It was so powerful, nobody could resist the invitation to at least take a look. I didn't want to give it up, and I hung on for I don't know how long until it was, almost insane. And then finally, reluctantly, I gave up my full-time job. But now, you can imagine the thrill and excitement of going to work full-time on my fortune. It was incredible. But I want you to jot down the magic of part-time. What does it take to really change a person's lifestyle? Not very much. An extra $1,000 a month, I'm telling you, will drastically change most American families' lifestyle. And that's why part-time is so valuable, because it very quickly changes a person's lifestyle. And here's what the change in lifestyle does. It's a great recruiting tool. One of the greatest recruiting attractions is the money you make part-time. Somebody said, you've been on 3 vacations this year? Says, yes, I got this little part-time thing going. Says, what's that? You bought 2 new cars, one for you and one for her? How did you do that? Said, I got this little part-time thing going. Your kids have got all these new clothes? Yes. All this stuff is happening. What is it? An extra $1,000 a month. See, $1,000 a month full-time, nobody wants to hear your story. $1,000 a month part-time that starts to change your lifestyle, everybody wants to hear your story. So the key is part-time. The magic and the attraction of part-time gives you a classic invitation for somebody to listen to what you're doing that's changing your life. And it's not just necessarily the money that changes your life. It's what you do with the money. It's the change of lifestyle. So part-time helps to change lifestyle which gives you a classic invitation to look at what you're doing. That's how I started in network marketing, age 25. Now, here was my first goal when I started, and that was part-time. I wanted to.
Welcome back. Now, Jim Brown explains that he was milking cows. So it was not hard for him to double his income working part-time than he was working full-time. And he explains that later in the program, which is funny. The point I think we need to make here.
Now, here was my first.
Oh, sorry. In mindset is that network marketing in our world, in the Shaklee world, is not just a business model. It's a philosophy. Dr. Shaklee believed that the person-to-person connection was a better marketing, a stronger marketing method than the standard status quo out there. And then, of course, you kind of dovetail that with the philosophy that Dr. Shaklee had about our company and humankind and our serving humankind, right? Such a much better way to do network marketing than some of these other companies out there. We have something special. Tonight is about mindset, to realize what we have in our hands here. And then success in network marketing, from what Jim Rohn was talking about here, he says it takes work with the right skills. He says 12 to 15 hours a week doing the right activities. He says that clearly. So the skills that you have to develop take time, and you're investing your time in the right activities, and that's what is creating success. So if you sit at your desk and you think you're working, but you're not actually doing what you should be doing in network marketing, those are the skills we all need to chase after and hone better, right? And then the magic of part-time, I believe, is the great equalizer. It gives us the opportunity to invest our time rather than our money into our own companies. And then it creates an invitation in of itself. When you start having success, when you start having a change in lifestyle, when you start having a change in the people that you're around, people start to notice that you are different because of this business and the skills that you're acquiring along the way. You now have a stronger invitation because of it. And then some of you might be asking, well, I can't equal my income in a year, I don't think. I make $110,000 or whatever it is. To equal that in network marketing in a year, that's a tall order. You don't have to say what Jim Rohn said, because he was milking cows. Doubling his income was not that big of a challenge for him, right? It's your story. It's your story that counts, right? If you're able to cover the cost of, say, your car insurance every month, or your mortgage payment every month, or a mortgage payment and a car payment every month, however it is, that's your story. Use that as an invitation, as a way to craft that. So remember, this stuck in a truck thing in the Wikipedia says 90, let me roll back up to that. 99% of recruits in network marketing lose money. Hello, 99% of recruits in the network marketing lose money? Are you kidding me? So here we are down stuck in a truck, and I'm looking at an opportunity, and I decide to use the magic of part-time, right? And I looked at my check last week for July, and at the bottom is the running tab since I started back in the early 2000s. These are my accumulated earnings since July 2000s, $334,000. Not an inconsequential amount of money. So am I in the 1% of network marketing? No, because we look across the stage when we do the $1 million parade of everybody who's made at least $1 million in Shaklee. The last time we did it, it took 22 minutes, a steady stream of people who have earned over $1 million. So do we have something special if 99% of other people lose money in the network marketing industry, that in Shaklee we have those kinds of numbers everywhere? That's impressive. That's special. That's something that we need to realize and put the mindset on. We do have something special, and we do need to make sure that Shaklee is the #1 network marketing company and the #1 national natural nutrition company in the world, simply because we have earned the right to do so. So I wanted to close tonight with one quick little reading. Rick Seymour handed me a book. Actually handed it to Ryan, and then Ryan read it really quick, and then he handed it to me because I really wanted to read it. It's Making the First Circle Work. So Randy Gage, pretty famous network marketing guru from the early 2000s, and very successful. But I'm going to close with this one chapter at the end of his book that I think is well worth reading. It says, "Don't you dare give up. In our business, we can earn a lot of money, win those trips to exotic locales, and drive those gorgeous bonus cars. We have the chance to really get our freedom. But that's the thing about freedom. It isn't ever free. Freedom is the byproduct of success, and you must be willing to pay the price for that. Success never goes on sale. You have to pay the market price, and that can be so very hard." I'm going to paraphrase for sake of time. He struggled for many years, right? Sacrificed things to buy his own minimum order every month, pestered everybody in his family and his friend group to join, engaged in argument after argument. That didn't work very well. Then he switched to another strategy called begging. He says that approach didn't work very well either. He says, "I remember the first house meeting I did, I invited about 14 or 15 people and waited, brimming over with excitement. Of course, you know what happened. No one came, not one person. Common sense tells you I should have quit, but dreams never come true with common sense. Dreams come true because they are bold, daring, and imaginative, because they are strong enough to pull you toward them. I could have quit, should have quit, and would have quit, but I came to a realization that changed everything for me. I realized I was the most ambitious person I knew. And there was freedom in that line of thinking, which eventually led to real freedom. I could say that after 5 years, I magically switched a switch and I became rich, but that isn't true. Things started to change. I understand the importance of a system now and how duplication worked. I began daily self-development, becoming less of the person people didn't want to work with and more of the person they did. I learned some skill sets. And today I have those exotic cars, live in my dream homes, contribute to charities in a meaningful way, earn millions of dollars, and enjoy my freedom. And while I appreciate the money, toys, and trips, network marketing is about a lot more than that, which is why I'm writing this book. I have been where most of you are and made it to the level most people are even afraid to dream of. So let me share what I've learned along the way, but most importantly, what I want for you. I'll paraphrase the 4 things that he points out. Live a life of adventure. He says, stop watching actors live adventure in movies and TV shows. It's time for you to own your own adventure. Number 2, get your freedom. See that you are the first circle in your network marketing company, right? He says, see number 1. You're not meant to be woken up with an alarm clock. You are supposed to wake up when you finish sleeping. You are supposed to spend your day with whom you are going to spend it that you want to. And you're supposed to order from the left side of the menu, not the right side of the menu. He wants to right injustice. Number 3, right injustice. How often have you seen a situation that wasn't right and felt powerless to stop it? How many times have you wanted to right a wrong but didn't have the time or the money or the freedom to do it? Ask yourself that question. That's pretty powerful. Number 4, move from success to significance. He says he's a former minimum wage dishwasher who became a multimillionaire, and he knows he's truly blessed. And that satisfies you for a while, he says, but then you want more. You want to make a difference and leave a legacy, build something that outlives you. And that is really the opportunity that we have at Shaklee, simply because of the way our business is set up. We can will this to our children, our grandchildren. We can start something now and have it live on forever and ever. If you haven't had a chance to read Making the First Circle Work, it's a pretty quick read, but well worth the read. I wanted to just close with any comments or questions people would like to kind of add to tonight.
Yeah, Scott, it really struck me when you said Wikipedia says 99% of network marketers don't make any money. The reality is 99% skip the block you had in your chart about learning the skills and doing the work. If they'll learn the skills and do the work, I don't care what network marketing company they're in, they'll make some money.
Yep, I agree. I would agree. It's a lot of people think they're buying a lottery ticket when they sign the application to a network marketing company, sit back and wait for the numbers to just do their own thing. And I'm afraid it doesn't work that way.
Well, I'm a perfect example of someone who got their business willed to them. That was my mom. She started her business many years ago, and fortunately, she willed it to me. And my goal is to keep her legacy alive and to build it even further.
Awesome. That's so cool, Terry. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Scott, what was that you said last one? Move from success to what?
Significance.
Significance. That I like that. And all of this was really great. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a touchy subject. We get out there, we want to share what's so exciting, and some people cannot see the light, and it's our job to try and get them to see it or let them go the other way, right? It's a shame that some people cannot see the amazing gift that Shaklee has for people.
Mm-hmm.
This was great, Scott. Thank you. I'm looking forward to listening again.
Absolutely. You're
and
welcome.
reading that book.
We have, yeah, Shirley, you have something? Don't forget to unmute your audio there.
I wanted to say also, this was so good. And it's been a long time since I've heard the voice of Jim Rohn. So that was a pleasure.
Yes.
Thanks.
You betcha. Don't you just love that man?
Yeah.
And kind of
Absolutely.
off topic, hopefully everybody is aware that everyone gets products 20% off the next 3 days. So it's a good opportunity to connect with some of your customers that haven't ordered for a while and encourage them to get plugged back in, and the people who have been, to encourage them to try some new products.
Great.
We've got a lot of great stuff, people. We're, as Rick has said, we're sitting on a gold mine, and some of us has fallen asleep on the shovel for a while. It's time to wake up and start digging again.
Thank you, Scott. That
Yeah.
was really, really good.
Thank you, Scott.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good night,
Thank you,
everybody.
Scott,
Thanks
for
coming on.
Bye,
referencing.
everybody. Bye. Bye, Laura.
Good
Bye,
night,
Sheila.
Shirley.
Good night.
Night, Sheila.
N-
Bye.
Night.
Good
Night,
Night,
night.
Sheila.
Tomboy.
Night.